So welcome everybody. This podcast, the Family Success Secrets podcast. We have with us today a very special guest, Ms. Tracie Lowe, certified public accountant. She is joining us for this podcast to discuss the systems that she uses for budgeting, accounting, taxes, and the things that she does to help folks in that arena. So as a way of introduction, Tracie is a graduate of the University of Florida. She has both a master's and her bachelor's degree there. And from there, she became a CPA with Deloitte, one of the top 4 accounting firms in the world, which is outstanding. And so she had many years of success there with Fortune 500 companies before she was recruited by a global medical supply company to be their chief financial officer. And after some time with them, she started her own business and is helping individuals and businesses with recovering lost and unclaimed funds and things of that nature in the accounting, business, and tax departments. And she also dedicates her time for starting a revolution in financial literacy by establishing the Next 1 Million, a CPA forum. So,
Yes.
Tracie, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Tracie.
Oh,
We're so glad to have you here today.
Yeah. If you would you give us just a minute of your own story in your own words?
Of course, I'm a busy person and my phone happened to ring right when you are putting me on to speak. I apologize. Turn it off. So now
That's
that
okay.
is something we have to make sure we remember to turn it off. Yeah, so just a brief background. I grew up in Florida, actually Tampa, Florida. And of course, we're a product of, I always say a product of our surrounding. And one thing I wanted to do is I was able to be exposed to a lot of different things at a young age. And so that's also what I think is very important, because we are a product of our imagination or our dreams. And so even though we live in a certain situation, or we live, are exposed to certain things, the more we develop relationships, mentorships, and exposure to other environments, other backgrounds, other, like we had to say riches and royalties, but if you never can dream those, you're limited to what's in your imagination. So one of the things that I wanted to do is, as I was exposed working with Fortune 500 companies and working with just taxpayers and working with people, common people, I realized that they weren't exposed to certain ways of doing their taxes, of certain financial literacy programs. So that's how I got into just helping people. And that's why I call myself wanting to reach the next 1 million through a CPA forum.
Nice.
That's wonderful.
Okay, so with that, knowing that there's not much in the way of financial literacy that's taught in public school systems, or even in colleges and universities, unless you specifically get into that coursework itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
For our families, the audience that we have listening to us, families across America and perhaps around the globe, what would be a system or a secret to financial success? Not like winning it big or anything like that, but how might you advise somebody, that's just starting out? What advice would you give to them, perhaps, as to how to develop a system that they could use for their family? Something that maybe you've implemented before or seen work very successfully somewhere else.
Yes. So what I have is what I consider like principles of financial literacy and financial wealth building. And so there are pillars I consider. Like one, of course, we always look into, if we have children, is to make sure they're provided for and also do better than what we were able to do. And so in that, I say there's like educational systems that you need to know that are tax breaks and tax incentives. There are estate planning, things that we can get into as a system to understand that we're properly leaving our inheritances and looking at those tax planning for estate purposes. There are home and family type of items, for instance, understanding what is being able to be deducted on a go-forward basis. And I know some tax laws do change, but of course there are professionals like myself that um, can help and assist in those planning of documents for, year-to-year changes and take your family situation into consideration and be able to understand how the tax system can benefit you. Um, we look at businesses, of course, and understand what goals there are in the business and understand what system we can put in place. And all that too develops into an accounting system. And I don't think that people should be an accountant per se like I am, but I think it's important that the principle of accounting is, if you put things in a shoebox, that's a form of accounting. If you put your receipts in that's a system. And it works as long as you know that you need documentation to be able to have tax planning. So those are the types of systems. And also, speak with a professional. There are people who can assist and for relatively, my grandmother used to say, don't be a penny short and a pound foolish, or, try to save a penny and you end up spending $1. So, some of those professionals can even, a consultation can help and save you thousands of dollars just for a mere consultation for your personal situation.
I see. And would that be somebody who is your local CPA, or do you need somebody who specializes, like, around tax times? There are lots of places that have pop-up shops and places like that where you can get your taxes done. Is that the appropriate way to go, or is it kind of too late at that point? You're getting close to April 15th.
So people always come to me. It's like right now it's 2021, and they say, well, what can I do for 2020? Well, 2020 is done. So, what I can do for 2020 is tell you what you need to do for 2021. And of course, depending on, the person's, should I say, some things are more difficult and some things are more easier. And of course, there are pop-up shops or people who do tax returns one time a year, But if you have more complicated situations, I suggest you get more personal advice. Mm-hmm. And again, that's, a penny short, pound foolish. So, and you do that going forward. And if you do that quarterly, if I know, like, we're in a internet world, so you don't have to have the local person do it. There are people doing virtual now. Mm-hmm. So that really has opened up the scale of the professional help that you can get.
Sure. Because, we're in different states, the two of us now, and it can be as easy as what we're doing right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, that's great. So with that, I think we're going to wrap up for this episode, but we'd like to have you back.
And I want to make sure people can find you.
Yeah, good
so
point.
Can you tell everybody where they can head to look you up and to find out more about what you're doing before we close?
Oh, of course. I brand myself by my name, Tracie Lowe, CPA, and I spell Tracie with an IE. For all of my life, I've always been asked how to spell Tracie. So it's TRACIE LOWE CPA.com. And you can also find me on my social media pages, both on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and LinkedIn.
Awesome. And I will tell everybody also before we close that Tracie gives amazing tips. I have learned so much just from the posts and the live videos. So you really will benefit by looking her up and following her. She is.
Yeah, I do the free live videos.
Yes, she's a wealth of information. And so you will not be sorry if you go and find Tracie. So Tracie, thank you so much for coming. And we are going to be having you on again soon. So for our audience who wants a deeper dive into learning more tips and tricks that you might be able to implement in your own life to make tax time a whole lot easier for yourself and to make it a lot more fun, just be on the lookout for Tracie's next episode.
All right. That's it for
Thanks
now.
for having me.
Sure thing.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
See you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.